Good evening, and thank you for joining us today for the Tezel Substation and Transmission Line Project video broadcast. My name is Ricardo Renteria. I am the Director for Substation and Transmission Engineering here at CPS Energy. Due to our ongoing social distancing efforts to keep both our employees and the community safe, we have developed this informational video to introduce you to our proposed Tezel Substation and Transmission Line project. Our goal is to provide you with relevant information so that we can begin a dialogue to answer all your questions and concerns. In line with our People First philosophy, I want to assure you that although we are not able to meet in person at this time, your feedback is very important to us, and we will work to ensure all your concerns are addressed. According to the City of San Antonio's SA Tomorrow Plan, 1 million more residents are expected in our region by year 2040. Staying ahead of the growth curve is why we perform long-range planning. Substations are integral to our ability to provide reliable, resilient electric service to our community. A substation is a part of an electric generation and distribution power system. As you can see from the electric generation and distribution diagram, electricity is generated at a power plant and then delivered to a substation through a high-voltage transmission line. The substation will then convert this power down to a lower voltage where it is safe for commercial and residential use. CPS Energy is proposing to construct a new 138 kilovolt substation and transmission line near the intersection of Gilbo Road and Tezel Road. This new substation will be connected to the existing 138 kilovolt transmission line currently crossing Gilbo Road just east of Gilbo Road and Tezel Road intersection. The new substation is needed to maintain and improve the area's electrical reliability, while also meeting an increasing demand for electricity in the area from both residential and commercial customers. By constructing the Tezel substation in the proposed location, we can connect to existing distribution circuits in the area. As you can see on this map, there are circuits depicted in various colors that are currently intersecting from 3 surrounding substations: Grissom Road Substation, Helotes Substation, and Bandera Road Substation. By connecting to these existing circuits, the new Tezel substation will improve the area's reliability by shortening the length of existing distribution lines, reducing the number of customers experiencing outages related to adverse weather conditions or other factors. The Tezel substation will also reduce the risk of overloading circuits and increase electrical capacity by relieving load from the substations in the nearby area. CPS Energy utilizes a routing and siting process to select a new suitable substation site and potential transmission line route when planning engineers have exhausted all other options on how to increase capacity and/or reliability in a given area. The first phase of the routing and siting process is to gather data, identify constraints, and propose preliminary substation sites and alternative transmission line segments. The environmental team then gathers data through various methods to identify the environmental land use constraints within the study area. The project team has already completed phase 1 of the routing and siting process, and you can see here, as a result, the land use and constraints map. Here we can see identified the existing 138 kilovolt transmission line, which is depicted as a solid red line on the map. This is the transmission line that we will be connecting to in order to energize the proposed Tezel substation and transmission line. Also identified are the 6 proposed substation sites, colored in green, and 40 transmission line segments, colored in yellow. There's a separate video on our website which shows each potential substation site and all associated transmission line segments in more detail. Please review this second video as it will help you answer multiple questions contained in the questionnaire that was provided in the informational packet. The second phase of the routing and siting process is the public involvement phase. During this phase, the project team reaches out to everybody who lives and/or conducts business within 300 feet of the proposed substation sites and potential transmission line segments. The primary method of public involvement is an open house, which in our case today is this video broadcast. This video broadcast is an opportunity to explain the project and gather input from the public regarding the preliminary substation sites and transmission line segments. Participation and feedback from the interested parties, such as yourself, is critical during the public involvement phase in order to assist the project team in evaluating the preliminary substation sites and transmission line segments. By completing and returning the project questionnaire that was provided in the informational packet, you will be able to assist CPS Energy in evaluating all options in the study area. Your feedback is a key component to the environmental assessment report that will be generated by our environmental team for this project. I will provide more detail about this report later in this video. Lastly, once the project team has completed the evaluation of all transmission route and substation site alternatives, the team will then present a recommendation to the CPS Energy Board of Trustees for approval. Before the board votes on the team's recommendation, a final opportunity for public input will be provided via a public input session. Public involvement from our customers in the study area is an important part of the routing and siting process, so please remember to complete and return the project questionnaire that was included with the informational packet. Our current anticipated timeline can be seen here, highlighting some of the key project milestones that I just presented in the routing and siting process. As you can see, the project team has already gathered the study area information and created the land use and constraints map. The video broadcast informational packets were sent out on July 8th. Following today's video broadcast, the project team will spend approximately the next 4 months completing all evaluations required to present a recommended substation site and associated transmission line route to our Board of Trustees for approval. I do want to emphasize that our final recommendation will include only one substation site and its associated transmission line route or routes if applicable. The CPS Energy Board of Trustees approval phase will take approximately 3 months, as during this time there will also be a public input session where all directly affected landowners and interested parties will get an opportunity to provide their feedback. Once the substation site and transmission line route has been approved by our Board of Trustees, the project team will then move forward in order to remain on schedule to start the construction in mid-2022 and complete by mid-2024. Now that we've discussed the routing and siting process and timeline, let's talk about the components that make up substation and transmission line. As of 2019, there are approximately 110 existing substations in the CPS Energy service area. Like many of our other substations, the new Tezel substation will be powered by a 138 kilovolt transmission line and reduced to a distribution voltage level of 35 kilovolts that is then distributed to the nearby community. Substations are designed to operate safely during normal and abnormal conditions for both the safety of the public and for the safety of our CPS Energy employees. New substations are located on sites where it will have access to public roadways, along with access to existing transmission and distribution lines. Some of the conditions required when selecting a site for the Tezel substation are that it not be located in the floodplain, that it be at least 2 acres in size, have relatively flat terrain, and have natural soil that voids off fill and waste. The Tezel substation will be designed in accordance with the City of San Antonio's latest stormwater design criteria manual and will not produce a significant impact to other properties, habitable structures, or drainage systems within 2,000 feet downstream of the substation site. CPS Energy is anticipating installing 9-foot concrete decorative walls on the street and residential facing sides of the substation. Here we have some examples of a decorative concrete wall at 2 of our existing substations. Our Bark Park substation is where our most recent decorative concrete walls have been installed. At our Dresden substation, the City of San Antonio was able to add some artwork to the concrete walls through a collaborative effort. The other critical part of a new substation is a new transmission line. Here on the display, we see examples of typical single circuit and double circuit transmission line structures. Typically, our transmission routes are designed and constructed using a double circuit structure. However, sometimes due to easement limitations, that is not possible. When easement limitations exist, we will design and construct 2 separate single circuit structures. This would require us to generate 2 routes for our proposed transmission line. A transmission line is the high voltage power source for the substation from the power plant where electricity is generated. The transmission line for the Tezel substation will have structures ranging in height from 90 feet to 100 feet tall. A typical transmission line located within a densely populated area will have structures located between 300 to 500 feet apart. When constructing a new substation and transmission line, it is possible that CPS Energy will need to purchase easements from property owners. An easement is a signed agreement between the landowner and CPS Energy, granting CPS Energy the right to access and/or construct on the land. A typical easement will be 100 feet wide. However, much less when it is adjacent to an existing public road right-of-way. The right-of-way will not be clear-cut. Only trees and vegetation that may interfere with the construction, operation, and maintenance of the transmission line, including pole locations and at the substation site, will be removed. The majority of the potential transmission line segments for the Tezel project are along the existing Gilbo and Tezel roads, so it is possible that a few new easements will be required. Should a substation site adjacent to the existing transmission line be selected, no transmission line easements would be required. As displayed here, CPS Energy has an acquisition process when the purchase of new easements is required. Property owners of new required easements will be compensated at a value determined by an independent appraisal of the property. A property owner has the right to refuse to sign an easement agreement with CPS Energy. However, in such case, CPS Energy does have the power of eminent domain, but requires an approved city ordinance to authorize its use for the purpose of acquiring property for fair compensation to the property owner. An environmental consultant will prepare an environmental assessment report, or EA report, for this project. The EA report discusses the purpose and need for the project and considers all environmental aspects that may impact the area. All information presented in this video and all public input received during the public involvement phase will be included in the environmental assessment. This report will also include environmental aspects such as land use, number of habitable structures within the proximity of the transmission route and substation site alternatives, ecology, and cultural resources. The EA report utilizes the land use and constraints map for the substation sites and transmission routes evaluation. As you can see per the map here, the land use and constraints map not only displays potential substation sites and transmission segments, but also existing public infrastructure, such as churches, daycares, and schools. The project team will then utilize the environmental assessment report along with public input received, as well as other project criteria, such as engineering, construction feasibility, and cost, to select the recommended substation site and transmission line route. CPS Energy evaluates all environmental regulations and ordinances to ensure compliance with all federal, state, and local agencies. Qualified geologists, biologists, and archaeologists will conduct endangered species and cultural resource surveys. Here we can see some endangered species and historic features common to Central Texas. In conclusion, we value and thank you for taking the time to join us today for the Tezel Substation and Transmission Line Project video broadcast. If you haven't already, we ask that you please review the items that were included in the informational packet and complete and return the questionnaire for this project. One of the items included in the informational packet was the frequently asked questions. Please review these questions to better familiarize yourself with this project. Should you have any additional questions for the Tezel project, we encourage you to please contact us via the project email and/or phone number that is listed in the informational packet. Thank you.